What's going on, guys? It is your boy, Mr. Noland. All right, in this video, we are going to be talking about percent of change, which means it's either going to be a percent increase or a percent decrease. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Now, some students say this is going to be hard. It's not that bad. Just follow the 4 rules. So here we go. So there are 4 steps. The first step is you have to determine if it's an increase or a decrease from the new amount to the original. That's a very easy step. Step 2 is going to be a little bit harder. Find the difference from the new step to the original. Once you do that, you're going to divide to get a decimal answer. And then how do you turn a decimal into a percent? You move it 2 places to the right. So the hardest step you have is really step 2. All right, so let's look at this first one. Here's a percent increase. A percent increase is when the original amount increases. The percent of change is called percent of increase. Here's your formula for percent of increase. Let's look at our example. Bob bought a pair of Jordans, not LeBrons, Jordans, for $220 and sold them for $300. He made a profit of what percent? Okay, guys, this is the original amount. To go from 220 to 300, was that an increase or decrease? Well, guys, to go from 220 to 300, that's an increase. So this is percent increase. Well, guess what, guys? You literally just finished step 1. That's it. That's how hard that is. Now we're going to use the formula. We need the new amount, which was 300, minus the original amount, which was 220. And we're going to put that over the original amount, which was 220. So now we got to find the difference from the new to the original. Well, guys, 300 minus 220, isn't that just 80? Over the original amount of 220. Right there, guys, that was the hardest step. That was step 2. You're done with it. Step 3 says you have to divide now. So let's divide. So we're going to do top in, bottom out. Well, guys, can 220 go into 80? Nah, so we're going to put a decimal. How many times can 220 go into 800? 220. So again, 220, 440, 660, up 3 times. Subtract down, you should get 140 left over. Can 220 go into 140? No, but since I have a remainder, you add a 0 and bring it down. How many times can 220 go into 1400? 220, 440, 660, 880. What is that now? 900, 1100, 1320. 6 times. Again, we have a remainder, so bring it down. Can 220 go into 880? Nope, so add a 0, bring it down. How about 220 and 800? 220, 440, 660. Goes in there 3 times. Now we got lucky, guys. Do y'all see how these 2 numbers repeat? That means these numbers are going to keep repeating. So it's going to be 0.36 repeating. How do you turn? Oh, I'm sorry, guys. You just divided, so you did step 3. Step 4 is to move the decimal 2 places to the right. Take the decimal, move it 2 places to the right. So this is going to be 36.36 repeating percent, and it's going to be an increase. Now I know this wasn't the best number. We'll do some more examples and be like, this really isn't that bad. It's really not. You just got to get used to it. All right, let's look at the second example. A cell phone was reduced from $120 to $80. So guys, to go from 120 to 80, is that an increase or decrease? Well, easy, that's a percent decrease. So again, we're going to follow the formula. The original amount was 120 minus the new amount, which was 80, and you're going to put that over the original amount, which was 120. Well, let's do the math. 120 minus 80, that's just 40. Well, guys, can't we just do top and bottom out here? Well, yes, we can. Now, some of you are like, Mr. Nolan, can't we simplify the fraction first before dividing in? Actually, you can. So they are both going to be divisible by 40. So if you simplify it, it's really just 1/3. Now we can do top in, bottom out. Can 3 go into 1? Nah. How many times can 3 go into 10? 3 times. Again, since I have a remainder, add a 0, bring it down. Notice how these numbers are repeating. That means this number is going to be repeating. So now you divided and got your decimal. Take your decimal, move it 2 places to the right. 1, 2. Now some are like, oh, a 0 goes in here. No, it doesn't. This 3 is repeating. So the answer is going to be 33.3 with the bar over it percent, and it's a decrease. Again, Mr. Nolan, these numbers aren't that good. No, they're not. They're different type of decimals. Will you always get a decimal answer? No. Sometimes you'll get a whole number. Let's see if we can do a couple more examples. Let's go with number 1. The World Future Society predicts that by the year 2020, airplanes will be able to carry 1,400 passengers. Today's biggest jets can carry 500 passengers. What will be the percent of change? Some of you are like, well, we're going from 1,400 to 500 because that goes first. No, it doesn't. This says by the year 2020. This says today's jet. So this is like today. So today is your original information. This 2020 is talking about the future. So this is your new. So to go from 500 to 1,400, is that an increase or a decrease? Well, that's going to be an increase. We're going to have bigger planes in the future. That's an increase. Now let's go ahead and do our formula. New amount minus original amount over original. Well, my new amount is going to be 1,400 minus the original, which was 500, and we're going to put that all over. Oh, my original was 500. There you go. So now let's do the math. 1,400 minus 500, well, that's just 900 over 500. So step 1 was the increase. Step 2 is we did all of our work and we found the difference. Now we're going to divide. But first, can't I simplify 900 and 500? Well, yes, I can get rid of these zeros. In reality, you have 9 over 5. So let's do top and bottom out to get the decimal. Can 5 go into 9? Well, yes, it can, one time. Since I have a remainder, add a 0, bring it down. 5 can go into 40 8 times. Notice you have a decimal of 1.8. Take the decimal, move it 2 places to the right. Oh, look at this. This is 180% increase. That's it. We're going to do one more. The price of a TV was reduced from 250 to 200. Guys, if you're going from 250 to 200, is that an increase or decrease? That's a decrease. So now we're going to do original minus new over original. So my original was 250 minus the new amount is 200 all over the original amount, which was 250. We'll do the math. 250 minus 200, well, that's just 50. You can simplify before you divide, or you can just divide. I'm going to go ahead and do top end, bottom out, and just divide. Can 250 go into 50? Nope. Add a 0. How many times can 250 go into 500? 2 times. Well, look at that. There's your decimal. Now take your decimal, move it 2 places to the right. 1, 2. There it is. You got a 20% decrease. All right, guys. I hope this video helps. I will talk to y'all soon. Bye, guys.